So good morning students, welcome to the next lecture of control system and PLC. In previous lecture we have studied about timer instruction, that is the on delay timer and off delay timer. So in that whenever we are at the waiting period, we are using the on delay timer and off delay timer. So uh, when you have to produce delay while turning on, you will use on delay timer. When you are using when you have to produce delay while turning off something, then you are using off delay timer. Again, there are two types of sub category of timer. Retentive means whenever the power loss takes place and power regains again, then the PLC execute from the point where it was halted. So that is retentive timer. It retains all the values of its register. And if non-retentive timer means when power loss takes place, all the values are erased. So that is the timer. So today we are continuing the same, that is the instruction. Today we are continuing the same instructions, that is next instruction is our counter. So again in counter also there are two types of counters are there, up counter and a down counter. So up counter is the counter whenever you are counting something in upward direction, that is from 0 towards upper side, correct? Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you have to use some down counting, means your initial value is suppose 50 and you have to count in downside, then you'll use the down counter. So we'll see the instructions up counter and down counter. Again, we are going to see the instructions which are related to the Allen Bradley PLC, which is most widely used in the world. So let me share the screen. In my screen, I already added extra that we are going to learn today. So first of all, we'll just focus on, if the screen is visible to you, we'll focus on this part on which my mouse cursor is moving. Okay, so as you can see here, so as you can see, this is the up counter instruction. Okay, this is the count input. Let's say suppose this input number is I colon 0/2. See what I written here. It is very simple to understand that this I stands for input, correct? This I stands for input, this 0 stands for the word number, okay, and 2 stands for the bit number, correct? So this input is there, any input can be there, okay? So if this input is on, see what I'm showing here, if suppose this is the push button, if you push this button, so connectivity takes place. So as you can see, this VCC highlighted here in a green line. So current will go through this input towards up counter. Okay, so as you can see here, it is notified that CPU means count up. Okay, so this is count up. Getting? Now, say suppose if you are counting 50 value, correct, then its preset value will be 50 and starting value, say suppose 0, 0, correct, as you can see here, correct. In this way I have shown here. So counter value is 50, it's preset means what? Ending value. If it is ending on, if you have to count some 50 boxes which are passing in front of your sensor, then 50 boxes will be counted one by one, but its maximum value is 50. If 50 boxes are counted, then you have to stop your system. If something like that program is there, suppose your bottle filling plant is there, Coca-Cola bottle filling plant is there, in one box, in particular one box, if suppose 100 bottles are there, so bottle number 1 will be filled, it will move in front of the proximity sensor, correct? Then the proximity sensor senses that bottle, so count that accumulator value increases by 1. Okay, so accumulator value will become 1. Second bottle is filled, then counter value will become 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, up to suppose 50. So 50 bottles are counted. So after 50 bottles are counted, then this done bit becomes high. As you can see here, this is the done. Timer has 3 outputs. One was enable, means when timer starts, enable becomes high. When timer is counting, then TT bit was there. TT was continuously ticking high, low, high, low, high, low. Correct? And the done bit, last bit was done bit. So done bit means whenever timer completes, then done bit becomes high. It was the case in timer. Now in case of counter, there are only 2 outputs, CU and done. Okay, so CU stands for count up. Whenever suppose count one value is counted, up counted, then this will give high to low pulse. It is similar to your TT of timer. TT means timer ticking. Whenever counter increments by 1, that CU becomes high low. Again, it increments by 1, CU becomes high low. So high low, high low. It is something like a square wave. It is something like a square wave. Now, done bit. So when value of accumulator becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, here we have entered preset as a 50. Okay, so that's why when accumulator becomes 50, that done bit of counter up becomes high. Okay, so this done bit becomes high. Okay, and when done bits become high, counter is completed, so it will not count after that. So accumulator, last value of accumulator will be 50. मग आता एक बॉक्स पॅक झाला, मग आता नेक्स्ट बॉक्स पॅक करायचा असेल तर परत 0 to 50 काउंट करायचे. म्हणजे तुम्हाला accumulator काय करावं लागेल, इरेज करावं लागेल. So you have to erase the accumulator. So see here what we have done. Here, as you can see, this is a reset input. This reset input can be the software input. This reset input can be software input, or else it can be a hardware input. If it is hardware input, then every time when 50 bottles are counted, system will be halted. Then one worker will come, and that worker, he will do? That worker will press that reset input, and then when reset input is pressed, so current will flow through this reset input. Current will flow through this reset input, and then the count up reset. So as you can see, this is a reset coil. We have already studied in previous lecture. So this reset coil will give reset command to this counter, and this counter accumulator only will become 0. Only accumulator. Getting? So this accumulator will become 0. It is so easy. If suppose you have to if suppose you are placing here, let's suppose 100. Then suppose if suppose the accumulator value is 10, so counter will count from 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, likewise. Okay, so it is very simple. This is up counter. It will count from the value which is located in the accumulator. Okay, and final value will be preset value. So when preset value is achieved by the accumulator, done bit becomes high. On to done bit, whatever action you can turn on light, you can turn on motor, you can give command to another instruction. So it is like that. Okay, so it is a up counter. So how the waveforms will be there? So as you can see here, if suppose this is the clock, so this is clock now, correct? This is C up, this is C up, this is done bit, and this is the ACC, that is accumulator value. So in this way it is shown over here. So this is clock. According to clock, and this is the clock. So every time this input, so this count input is received, this counter will become high, low, means it is counting up. So according to this count up, as you can see at the bottom, this accumulator value initially it was 1. When first clock is received, then it becomes 2, then it becomes 3, correct na? So say suppose this clock is received, every time clock received, it gives high to low pulse on C up. Again next clock, means when next time input becomes high, it will give high to low pulse, high to low pulse, high to low pulse. So if this preset value is 3, because of some limitation, I am only loaded the 3 value. So when first clock is received, accumulator becomes 1, then accumulator becomes 2 after second clock, after third clock, accumulator will become 3. Okay, so in this way, 1, 2, 3. When 3 values are achieved by the accumulator, means equal to preset, then what? Then the done bit becomes high. As you can see, till it counting equal to preset value, your done is low. As soon as 3 is achieved, your done becomes high. Correct? And when you give reset, here the reset is there. So when you give reset, this done becomes again low. So it is very simple that there are only 2 outputs, C up and done. C up stands for, it is indicating that I am counting, and when counting is complete, accumulator becomes equal to preset, done becomes high. Okay, so in this way the up counter is there. Okay, now just check the instruction. If whatever doubt, you can turn on the mic and you can ask. Okay.